Mine's going to be a little different. It's I've got a lot of visuals up here, and we are going to do a live risky demo of some of the age verification that we do in Louisiana. So I'm going to share this on Zoom so that this gets recorded. Let's see. I'm going to share this screen here. Okay, let's try this. All right, can everyone see that? Very good. So Louisiana State Wallet Initiative, this was putting away the plastic. We passed legislation in 2016, making it legal for a traffic stop, anyone in Louisiana, to pull out their phone and show their digital driver's license. That was in 2016. In 2018, LAWallet, the digital driver's license app, went live by accident when the legislator posted it on his Instagram, and it went viral during the soft launch. In 2020, we had so many people on it and so many people saying, why can't I use this at Walmart and CVS and all these places? So we passed another law, House Bill 54, which makes the LAWallet version of the driver's license equivalent to the plastic credential. And in 2022, Lori Schlegel, representative, passed HB 142, which is any site that is 1/3 or more of adult content requires an age verification. Now, one of the things that we do in Louisiana is we have these principles that we're operating under. I know you don't hear about principles from the Silicon Bayou of Louisiana, but this is what we came up with. Principle number one, and let's see if I can get this out of the way, is nothing extra. So when I have my digital driver's license on my phone, the only data that comes down to this phone is what is necessary for me to share with a relying party, someone who's relying on this information. Principle number two, single use. I'm in control of when I share my information. The only time. We don't track, and we're not allowed to track usages, who's doing who, how many checks are you doing? We don't capture any of that. No behaviors even. Now, the third one is most important, no copies. This digital credential has no copies, and the company that manages it, us, we have no copies of the data. We rely on real-time links to the Department of Public Safety, which is where your data lives. So if you remove your digital driver's license from this phone, it lives only at the DMV and nowhere else. So that's a big thing. And I like it because if there's no data stored, there's nothing to breach. So let's go to the next one. This is what the driver's license looks like. In Louisiana, we are the most deployed and successful deployment of a digital credential in the United States. We have 1.8 million out of 2.8 eligible ID and license holders. That's about 65% adoption. It is the highest adopted digital credential in the US. And we have a lot of hurricanes in Louisiana. So people get displaced from their homes. And the Department of Child and Family Services called on us and said, you got so many people with LAWallet in their hands. How do we help get people their benefits when they get displaced from a hurricane? So we did. They told everybody download LAWallet. And what they did is we developed a system that allows us to remotely verify their identity using a remote code. And this is what we're going to demonstrate right now during a risky demo that I'm going to try right now. So right here, I'm in a call center. And right now, there's a lot of people that are asking for their information to get verified. And what I'm going to do here is someone calls me and says, I'd like a debit card. So rather than have the state police, the National Guard in a Walmart parking lot with a box full of debit cards and everyone's frauding the system trying to get money, and some of them are displaced, they call into the help desk and they generate a code. Now, that code you can see is 1466. So I'm on the phone, ma'am, would you please put 1466 in your device? Now she's going to get, oh, there's someone that just answered that. That's my wife. She's in the back row. She has LAWallet. And what she did is she put 1466 in her phone, And it said, Calvin, on behalf of Department of Child and Family Services, wants to access your first name, your license status, your date of birth, your issue date, for the purpose of disaster recovery. Okay. Now, the adult content, which I hate to use the word that rhymes with corn, the adult content people use this very same system, but this time they only ask for course age. What is course age? Well, course age is, are you under 18 or over 18? So this number is 1952. I understand you're trying to access some content online. Please put in 1952 into your LAWallet. And when that person shows that dialogue in their phone, it will say, LAWpass Trust, on behalf of an adult content site, is requesting access to know your course age for the purpose of age-restricted content. Are you good with that? Yes, I am. This is what we send to the adult content. Over 21, that's it. That's all they get. We don't even, by law, record who did that. By law, I cannot record who responded to that. Now, there's two sets of keys that if they got sued and wanted to say, hey, remember when I did that check? What was the response? It was over 21. We can do that if law enforcement gets involved with that. So very cool thing there. And I'm going to go to the next one. This is what you get when you go to a Virginia website, as you pointed out. If you go to the hub of everything, you're going to say, as you know, the officials in Virginia are requiring blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you're not. It's just going to block the adult content because they don't have a system. In Louisiana, this is the dialogue that comes up. Now, it is using IP addresses to figure out what state you're in. Yes, the kids can get a VPN and trick the system. They can. But this is the dialogue that comes up. And when they press click my age, we issue a challenge code to them. And that went live January 1st. We were scrambling to get that live. And this is called, we like to call it ARAV, which is Anonymous Remote Age Verification. So a challenge code is requested by the relying party. A challenge code is issued by the state or the compliance company, which is us. Visitors enter the challenge code, and this is the dialogue that they get. You can see this is the exact dialogue that you would get when you try to access adult content. It says, LAWpass Trust, on behalf of an age-restricted website, wants to access your course age for the purpose of age verification. That number lasts for 5 minutes, and they only get over 18 or under 18. By law, nothing is logged. Now, let's get to the idea of privacy and how we establish a responsible adult or a guardian. In Louisiana, we issued 850,000 smart health cards for COVID vaccinations. In our state, you couldn't check into a hotel, you couldn't go to Mardi Gras, you couldn't get into a bar unless you proved your vaccination status. So we had to do another link into the state's immunization information system, IIS. Well, and then the state said, well, wait a minute, I can't even go to dinner with my wife. I'm her guardian. She has dementia. How do I get her into the restaurant? I have kids. I want to bring them to the hotel that we're staying at. How do I get them onto this app? The challenge here is that there's no dependent database. There's no hierarchy. I have 7 kids. 4 of them don't share my last name. How do I add dependence onto this authoritative system of IDs? Well, you really can't. You really can't. So the privacy issue is what we are arguing against, right? Because they're saying, wait, I don't want to upload an ID just to see something. I don't want to go get an ID for my 13-year-old or my 15-year-old that wants to open a social media account. Even the gamers are picking up on this. Again, I have 7 kids. A lot of them are playing TV mature games. This is the ESRB. You know what they're doing? They are getting a caregiver to vouch for the child. What is a caregiver? It's a vouching adult. It's someone that says, I am vouching that this is age appropriate content. So you can see right here, this is an example. This is a prototype that we've built, and we are experimenting with this in Louisiana. Again, the challenge code is issued, okay? And it says, you're trying to access something that's age restricted. I'm not going to ask you to upload an ID. I just need you to download this app. Anybody ever do a selfie in here? Everybody does selfies, right? This is not facial recognition. So here's our dialogue. Social media are us wants to know if you're 13 or over, not 18 or over, 13 or over. And what we want to do is we want to know, are you able to open a social media account? Now, the same thing, and this is the selfie here. This is Ella. She's actually 16, 17 now. And it's going to say, oh, not only are you a live human in front of the device, but the artificial intelligence has determined that your liveness, your face is over 16. Come on in. Nothing stored, nothing recorded. But let's try that again. Let's say that she's going after trying to get into an 18 or over site. Well, this one is going to be a little different because she's going to fail that 18 or over, right? So the system's going to say, you are a live human, but you know what? We're going to need an additional person here. We're going to need someone who's 25 or over now. You've just raised the stakes. So now dad has to go, Dad, get in here. You have 4 minutes to help me open my social media account or help me get on an adult content site if they're an irresponsible adult, not a responsible adult. So dad gets in there, he passes the challenge, off you go. Okay, so this does away with the ID being required. It has no tracking, it's anonymized, it's available instantly nationwide, and it works for the 13 plus use cases. Let's see. So some of the observations that we've seen in Louisiana, and this is probably the second to last slide. When we went live with the adult content challenging, it does require that we have an adult, it does require that you have your ID on your phone. We did see close to 2 million verifications that we've done already. We were in Louisiana with a population of 4.4 million. We were doing an age challenge once every 3 seconds when we went live. We did learn that 0.8% of those challenges were under 18 and therefore turned away from the content. We did also learn, and this is not written in any slide, we did learn that of the age challenges that we issued, now they live about 5 minutes, 30% of them, actually 70%, never completed. They never went through the process all the way. So that means 70% either said, I don't want to do this, I'm going to another site. Or they could have said, I don't know that I really want to continue to do this. It may have presented a speed bump to say, I love my Louisiana wallet. I have all of my cards in here, and I just don't want to use it for the purpose of moving on to viewing adult content. So 30% of those actually continue to go through, 70 do not. I don't know if that's a social change. I don't know that. That's for the universities to study. But we did find a lot of people that said, I hate you for putting this in place, but we believe that this is just like going into a grocery store. The adult content, the booze, everything is on a top shelf and it's behind a black thing. And there's a message there that says, this is for adult eyes. Can an irresponsible adult or a non-caregiver get a ladder and take it down? Yes. Can they? Can they show them how to use a VPN? Yes, of course. But for the most part, it sends the message that this is for adults only, and the technology is there, and it does not sacrifice privacy.